Hi everyone, Nick here from 45 Degrees Sailing, and welcome back to another yacht review. Now, we have previously reviewed the Hanse 2015 455 Vini Vidi Vici, which was a great boat and we really enjoyed that. You can see that review here. What we wanted to touch on here is we've just been racing in the Hanse Adriatic Cup 2018, and we've been racing on a 2018 version of the Hanse 455. So this one's called Melina, and it has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I just wanted to touch on the few differences and the sailing performance of this boat. So not as an in-depth review, I'm not going to go through the cabins because everything downstairs is pretty much the same, bar a few pieces of navigational equipment. That's owner's preference. Everything's pretty much the same. So upstairs, I just wanted to touch on what they have dealt with is this locker underneath me here, which is the sink and wash area with the cockpit shower on the end. They've changed that so the cockpit shower doesn't come out of the inside and it's not holding that water anymore, and it's got a gas strut on it. The whole thing is really, really nice. I'm not a fan of having a lot of stuff here. I like open transoms, but these were absolutely great, and we actually used it to store water bottles as well during the race, which I really enjoyed. Another thing, they've added a gas strut to the transom platform, which just makes it a lot easier to lift up and down from any position if you're leaning over or sailing. That was really great. So really easy motion there. I like that. Outside here, there's really not much different. On this particular model, and I think many of the model in the Croatia yachting fleet, they've got these biminis which have this flap that zips off, and then you roll your bimini back and it inverts and it encompasses the whole bimini as a sailbag cover, which I love. Saves having another piece that you have to add to it and gets lost or however. It's just all built into it and it's tidy. Perfect. Loved that. On the covers, the sailbag for the mainsail, that has been brilliant as well. Of course, we're racing, we want the most performance as possible, so we've been dropping the sailbag down, easing off the lazy jacks, and they just all fold up and roll up inside the bag and then tie to the boom. Hans has got all of the ties set on the bag there, so it just ties up out of the way and you don't lose any performance from that sail. So I love it, I love it. Only complaint about the sailing on there is that the boom vang is really, really strong and it was often I'm pulling it on a lot to get the shape of my sail and I had to winch it, so that's a very small thing. The lockers each side of the companionway with the perspex covers on them, they've been really good to put phones and things in. Because we're folding down our Dodger and folding back our bimini, we've got a lot of sun coming in, so the issue there was, even though they're tinted perspex, you're getting a lot of heat coming through into those lockers. Phones were overheating and shutting down, water bottles were boiling, they're getting really, really warm. So if that was my boat, I'd be lining the inside of those perspex covers to get a bit of reflective, so to keep the heat out of there, because that's definitely an issue when the Dodger's down. And the boats are so nice with the Dodger down and the bimini up, with that view you get, so it's something we do all the time. As far as downstairs go, everything is pretty much exactly the same as the last review, so check out that 455 review from 2015, Vidi Vidi Vici, which is just up here. Sailing performance wise, the boat was amazing. We were sailing in the 455 class, which was the biggest class in the Hanse Cup Adriatic. We had about 12 boats in our fleet, really competitive class, and the boats are fast. Like we were sailing, it was a very light wind regatta, and I was incredibly impressed. In fact, we've got a self-tacking jib, so it's not that big, but the mast has come back a little bit in these later designs, and it's big enough. I'm surprised. I'm getting 2.1 to 2.2 knots of boat speed in a 2.7 knot wind. Sometimes we were even matching wind to boat speed, so I was stoked about that. It was amazing. The boats are incredibly easy to sail, and the Jenica sets brilliantly. We were sailing downwind yesterday in about 15 knots, doing 7.5 knots of boat speed at about 160 degrees true. And the Jenica was just flying full, rotating out the forestay just a little bit, and we weren't trimming it. It was just locked off on the winch, and we were going. It was a very cruisy day. We had 4 of us on board, and we were jibing with just the 4 of us, which was easy. It was a really, really nice boat to sail. In the light wind, she performed incredibly well. The self-tacking jib is something I don't like, and I never have liked, but I'm kind of getting sold on it from a charter's perspective. Hey.
I thought you snapped.
Pardon?
I thought you snapped.
Snapped? Oh.
I come in here and I see, oh my God, this is our boat.
That was one thing I forgot to touch on. With the Jenica, it attaches to the anchor system bowsprit at the front here, which is, it's really just light aluminium or steel. And it twists, as I said, we only had 15 knots. I'd expect to be able to run Jenica in 28 knots of wind on this boat because she handles so well. But with this, you can see the angle, and from the shots I'll get you, that it just twists. It just twists, and so, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't sail the boat any differently. She sailed beautifully under Jenica, but I would be worried to put the kite up in 25 knots now. Just wondering how far will that thing twist. Another thing we noticed, and we're talking to the charter agents, is there's an issue with the autopilots on the 455. They usually mount them right down on the cabin sole, but because some water gets in here, they've had issues with the autopilots dying, so having to replace them a lot. So instead, they lift it up on this little plate to keep it a bit higher so the water doesn't slosh around, which is great, except we had an issue that had come up just a little bit too high, and the top of the shoe was top of the arm for the autopilot was rubbing on the top panel, and it was causing horrible problems in my steering. Not stopping the boat steering, but it was rubbing on the cover, and it was not smooth at all. Luckily, Croatia Yachting got straight onto it on day 3. They fixed it, and so for day 4 the steering was beautiful. Thank you very much. So overall, absolutely love the boat. We'll be back for the Hanse Cup. If you have any questions about the boat, let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you like the review, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Channel's been growing in the last little bit, and we really appreciate that from everyone, so thank you for your support. Also, I'm going to leave you with this little montage of us sailing the 455 so you can see her in action. Thanks a lot. See you soon.